Hey sexy Christmas people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be the flick through for Airfix Model World issue 146, so January 2023. Straight away we got this lovely shot. I think it's a Valiant by the look of it. Or some sort of derivative. We'll find out more in the on the inside. But we've also got a Mirage 3 and the McCurver, and there's some info on ICM's new tool, Bristol Beaufort Mark 1 in 1/48 scale competition. So let's have a look. So what's it say about it on the front cover? Can't see anything here. Right. Accompanying the bumper show report, we've got a great mix of builds from Special Hobbies new tooled 172 Mirage 3, Academy's imposing 135 scale McCarver 2, to Edward Subjects a 148 scale Tempest, 172 scale BF 110, and ICM's lovely 124 scales Benz patent Motorwagen. There's also a very personal take on this month's cover build, the Vickers Valiant. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Ta-da! Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. So we've got, this is Hawker Tempest by Edward. 30 is the McCarver 2D, or McCarver from Academy, 135 scale. This must be the 172 scale Messerschmitt BF 110, and that is Edward. We've got 50. Employs Airfix's new 172 Valiant release to replicate an H-bomb testing airframe and rehomes a memento scavenged from the real aircraft. And then we've got a couple of, I think these are 144 scale Strike Masters, and then we've got this lovely world's first car, patented ICM's initial 124 scale Benz patent Motorwagen. So yeah, quite a few different subjects this month. So just some information, says ideal gifts from Airfix. Hopefully at some point we'll get to see some info about what Airfix are going to be releasing next year. So yeah, they've got this lovely artwork of the Victor bomber here in the anti-flash white. And then a couple of their 135 scale kits here, the Stug 4 and Panzer 3, and then some of their vintage classics, the Commonwealth CA-13 Boomerang, the Westland Whirlwind helicopter, and then a more up-to-date kit, the English Electric Lightning F2A. All new wartime Sally, so a Japanese aircraft, medium bomber I want to say. So Ukrainian manufacturer ICM returns to Japanese World War II aviation with a splendid all new 172 scale Mitsubishi Ki 21 LB Sally bomber. Nice. We also have an Air Cobra here from Armour Hobby in 172 scale. 1/350th scale HMS Sea Rover S-Class submarine Group 3. So that looks like it's resin and 3D printed parts maybe. Some information on charitable support for Ukraine. Let's have a quick read of this. Shortly after the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, UK publisher Inside the Armour, InsideTheArmour.com, produced Models for Ukraine, a modelling-centric fundraiser featuring builds of Ukrainian manufactured kits. Its aim was to raise money to support those affected by the war, and its first volume, which was hugely successful with £19,300 donated, has now been followed up by a second larger edition, Models for Ukraine Volume 2. This new collection of builds is priced at $25.99, although if you want to have a poster of the cover artwork included with the book, then it's an extra £4, and all the profits are donated to the Disasters Emergency Committee, Appeal for Ukraine at dec.org.uk. DEC, that is .org.uk. This second offering is absolutely bursting with high quality modelling content with 24 builds packed into the 120 pages and subjects varying from figures and aircraft to tanks, trucks and tractors. The photography is excellent throughout, and there's a massive amount of modelling inspiration. It comes highly recommended, and a full review will follow in next month's Airfix Model World. Canadian aftermarket wizard here, Kazan Modern Dynamics' latest product set of stunningly detailed undercarriage struts for Tamiya's recent F4BN Phantom 2. It's 148 scale. And then we've got a 148 scale BF109 Z1 Zwilling. And it looks like it's two Messerschmitts 109 tandem together, and that's in 148 scale from A&A Models. Right, so we'll do the show guide photographs and they'll get inserted sometime around about now. Okay, intermediate build, Taming the Tempest. This is a Tempest Mark II early version done by Edward. It's 148 scale, £26.20 from edward.com. Looks nice. It looks like they've added, I don't know if the PE, it says there's some PE mentioned, photo etch parts mentioned. I'm not too sure if the photo etch is aftermarket parts or included with the kit. Oh, lovely cockpit detail. Look at that. That is just fantastic. So, yeah, it's looking, so obviously I'm assuming this may be pre-1944. Service, RAF service, not autumn 1943. And the reason I said that is because there's no invasion stripes on it. So, yeah, really nice. Looks like it builds up into a great model. And they're just taking you through what they did for sorting out the camo scheme and then applying decals, etc., and some chipping as well. So these were the Strike Master jets. I have my 172 scale Strike Master from Airfix, not Airfix, sorry, Matchbox, which I'm going to see if I can mould some of the Airfix cockpit parts to go into, because the Matchbox is really basic. So model spec, Strike Master Mini Wing, it's 1/144 scale, it's £12.60 from hanants.co.uk. And there are 2 boxes of Mini Wing Styrene Strike Master offering 2 full kits. It looks like they've added in some aftermarket parts here as well in this form of those ejector seats there, and they're showing you the differences. So is this one Sudanese Strike Master, and then this one is going to say RAF. Botswana Defence Air Force Wing, Kuwaiti Air Force Wing, and Sudanese Air Force. So they give in information on these photos, but not the colour schemes here. So, do you reckon that's Botswana? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I can't see anything. Just telling me what this was. They look good. I mean, even though it's obviously half the size of 144 of 172 scale, they still look really good. Okay, so this is something. Makava is a tank that I've never done a kit for it at all. Not even in 172 scale, but I'm thinking I may try and change that. But Academy's 135 scale, Makava 2D. It's £44.99 from backman.co.uk. So for those that don't know, Makava is Israel's homegrown tank, and it's been very successful. It's got a slightly different layout to other modern MBTs in that the engine is at the front, because the Israelis placed crew survivability as a priority, and putting the engine at the front helped with that. So they're saying this is an intermediate build, but we've got PE parts, photo etch parts there, and then we've got the kit's ball and chain armour above left. Just couldn't compete with the with either of the aftermarket options. The most accurate method of creating ball and chain armour was deemed to be removing all but the first PE link on which the real chain length was then attached. There you go. Yeah, nice. I mean, Verlinden Products used to do a lot of bits and pieces, and they did some really nice tank accessories, you know, bedrolls, packs, that sort of stuff. And there were a couple of scenes that I think Francois Verlinden had done of Israeli Makavas and M113s, you know, just absolutely laden with kit. Really nice dioramas they were. Does anybody know if you can still get Verlinden products? Is that still going? Okay, world's first motor car, patented. So photo etch parts comprise 6 sets of spokes to assemble the 3 wheels. Wow, that's going to be a lot of work to do when you look, because these are like bike wheels. So you've got your hub, the spindle that all the spokes go off to the rim, so that they're literally going to be that sort of shape. So that's going to take a little bit of work to do. It says basic build. yeah. Looks lovely. Really basic engine. I love this. A jig provided with the kit proved essential for assembling the wheels. A clamp was required for the rear examples, but only once enough spokes were attached to the tyres to allow for its width. So at least you get something within the kit that helps you assemble those, so that's great. Right, out and about. This is Wings and Things model show. Some really nice miniatures here, some really unusual ones. This is among the rarer builds at the show. Was this Kotobukiya 1/100th Evangelion Nerve Commander VTOL Jaeger 101. So that's a really interesting thing. There's a couple of little gyrocopters there. Two little Nelly gyrocopters. Airfix Classic 1/24 scale, you only live twice kit. And this SBD Dauntless. That's a really nice pale grey colour scheme. I like the weathering on that. Absolutely gorgeous. So here's our Vickers Valiant 1/72 scale. And they're doing a basic build with this. So the cockpit and navigator station and stuff like that looks quite nicely detailed out of the box. But this is a Vickers Valiant B PRK1 by Airfix, 1/72 scale, $54.99 from airfix.com. Of all of the 3V bombers, the Valiant really didn't do it for me. The Victor, I love the shape of the Victor, and the Avro Vulcan is okay, you know, I like that, but the Victor was the one that I really liked. And I had the Matchbox 1/72 scale version of it. Right, so Scale Model World. I think this is a special show report 2022. Wasn't that Russian Tsar tank? Yeah, Russian Tsar tank, 1914. Complete and utter madness from the Ruskies. But here we go, back in the groove. So this was held as November dawns. The International Modelling Community fixes its sights on the annual Scale Model World event, held as usual at the Telford International Centre over the second weekend of November. So loads of stuff. Obviously a nice picture of the exhibition hall here. Plenty of people about. Seeing a lot of planes at the moment. Here we go. So some really nice examples. Loving this AC C-130J Hercules. Is that the Coast Guard liveries? Yeah, Coast Guard livery. That's really nice. Nice Volkswagen van. What's Godzilla doing? There's always a great element of fun at model shows. Keith Pinder posed his superbly painted Godzilla kaiju as if it was about to stomp on a nearby E-Type Jaguar, showing that monsters just have no respect for classic cars. Ooh, an Angel Interceptor. Look at that. I haven't seen one of those in years. then we've got a lovely pinky down here, SAS Pink Land Rover. And then in 1/350th scale, we've got this unloading scene. No, embarkation, apparently. So, titled Embarkation England, this 1/350th maritime loading diorama was constructed using a pair of AFV Club LCT landing craft tank Mark 6 kits, 3D printed crew and vehicles, scratch built stowage plus custom base. Convincing water was produced by combining milliput filler and Liquitex gel. So that's really nice. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of pages. There's another VW camper there. That one's seen better days. There's a nice Hawk from Space 1999. Somebody needs to remake that. Give it the reimagined Battlestar Galactica treatment and bring it up to date for the modern audience. It needs to be remade. I think they could do that. That'd be cool. Thunderbird 4. IPMS Avon's Jeff Stobart used different sizes in Citadel miniatures, figures and accessories to create this fantastical standoff between mushroom forest dwellers and a giant. That's really cool. Is that Abe Sapien? No, it's not. That's the one from The Shape of Water. I thought that might have been from... my initial thought was that was Abe Sapien from Hellboy, but it's not. Harrier examples. And yeah, that's okay. So that was all the scale model show, scale model world. Right, here's your competition. Win ICM's all new 1/48 scale Bristol Beaufort. This closing date for this competition is Friday, February 24, 2023. So you've got time. Eagle Day Destroyer, the 172 Messerschmitt BF 110, intermediate build. And this is by Edward, and it's €28.32 from edward.com. Again, I built the Matchbox BF 110, which had, if I remember rightly, it had the big cannon, underslung cannons for the tank busting version in the Russian conflict on the Russian front. Out and about, Festival Fantastic. Goodwood Festival of Speed returned to its full scale since the pandemic in 2022. Never been to Goodwood. Right, well done young man. Young modeller Ethan Williams engages a larger scale trainer build as he tackles the initial release of ICM's 132 Bucker BU 131D Youngman. So this is the, as I said, the Bucker BU 131D from ICM. It's 132 scale. It's £35.99 from hanants.co.uk. So is this an interwars? Yeah, 1930s aircraft. Interwars biplane. Advertising we don't want. And then we've got basic build, Superior Mirage. Now, did somebody clear this up for me? Was the Mirage 3 then built under license by Israel, which became the Kafir, or is the Kafir a totally like new design, kind of based on the Mirage 3 airframe? Somebody let me know. I honestly don't know, but they're very similar in look. Anyway, Mirage 3 CJ Special Hobby 172 scale, €20.80 from specialhobby.eu. I mean, it's got a great cockpit tub. I love the fact that new models nowadays, because of the computer-aided, the improvement in computer-aided design and stuff like that, and obviously injection molding, you know, gone are the days now where your cockpit literally consisted of, when you glued the two halves of the cockpit, the fuselage together, you might have a little prong like that you stuck your pilot on with the ejection seat, and that was it. I'm loving the fact that the cockpit tubs now have much greater detail. Attention to detail nowadays is fantastic. Right, lovely airframe. Right, here we go. So, on the shelf, books. We have the Auster in British Military and Foreign Air Arms Service. We have Life Colour Painting Guide Volume 3. So these will be for obviously super detailing, more realistic, lifelike models. Churchill's Arctic Convoys. The North American X-15, so that was an experimental aircraft. British Escort Destroyers of the Second World War. This is Les Brown. I've got their one. I've got the one which covers their that they did for the Flower class corvettes, and it's that is a really good book. So I expect any others from their range to be really good as well. Iran-Iraq War. Middle East War Series, Special 1, the Iran-Iraq War. Wings of Iraq, Japanese Armour, and SAC in the Skies. Strategic Air Command, is that? Yeah, Strategic Air Command. SAC assets from the 1980s. Okay, now we're getting into some of the model kits. These are aircraft. So we've got a Junkers Ju-87, Night Attack Stukas, Special Hobby 172 scale, Avia S199 Bubble Canopy, again 172 scale, 1154. F-22 Raptor Italeri, this is a 148 scale, it's $29.99. Plaz Schuffstaffel JV 44 2-in-1 FW190 D9 and D11. So this is two kits, I think, from IBG. They've done a run of those double kits, and they're in 172 scale. It's €39.90. The Tiger Moth with bombs, 132 scale, £43.80, and the Eurofighter Typhoon Blackjack 148 scale from Revell, €34.99. We then have a Spitfire photo PR, I'm sure that's photo reconnaissance, Mark 11, RAF, 172 scale, €16.95. Tamiya Lockheed P38J Lightning, 148 scale, £64.99. Special Hobby 172 scale Saab J21A, €19.80. Airfix have re-released their vintage classic 124 scale Harrier GR1. I know that there are aftermarket parts to convert that to a Harrier GR3, but this is priced at £96.99. And then we've got a 144 scale Hunter FG A9 from Revell. In our armour and vehicles, we have the Soviet BM1316, so that's the rocket launcher, on a G7107 chassis with Soviet crew, 135 scale from ICM, £45.80. Dragon T3476 modified, 1943 with Commander Cupola, 135 scale, £69.99. Leopard 2 A6 from Ryefield Models, scale 135, £54.95. Then we have the APA 50M ZIL 131 in 172 scale, and this is £9.20. That's from ICM2. A Z-Tor military tractor with tow bar for MiG 15s and 17s. So this is a kit that you can use for dioramas. It's 172 scale, €16.50, and Revell have releasing this 172 scale Leclerc, which is the French MBT. Leclerc T5, £22.49. Some aftermarket parts here. There's a 110 scale figure here, Lil Squat, whatever that is. This striking large scale bust is highly imaginative in terms of its composition and arrangement, and forms a potentially stunning canvas if you wish to attempt tattoo painting. Okay. As exemplified by the box photo, which features oriental style images mixed with plates of flowers, said individual wears a virtual reality headset which has a thick power cable running into a courier bag worn on his back. He is muscular and has sagged jeans exposing the waistband of his boxer shorts. Okay. Dieter, Alternity Miniatures, 135 scale. Stand, 135 scale figure, posed standing with a spray paint can held in a raised left hand. Daphne, again, Alternity Miniatures. Alternity, I suppose, rather than Alternity. 110 bust depicts a short-haired female wearing a crop top with metallic armour sections. Due to the truncated clothing, she has an exposed midriff and sports an advanced-looking type of assault weapon raised in her right hand. And then we've got some Royal Navy figures here for 1/350th. Just says Royal Navy's ratings and officers have recently been released, but I'm not seeing a time frame. It says all are standing, walking, and there are 3 plinths as 10 figures, each providing sufficient for a frigate or destroyer. Could be World War II. Alternatively, they could populate an open bridge or gun position on a larger ship model. 2 figures are positioned as if leaning. Okay. And then we've got Royal Navy carrier deck crew in 1/144 scale here. So this one says 144 scale jet era scale aircraft carrier, model or diorama. Royal Navy deck crew. And we've got a 124 scale Mercedes-Benz fire truck. a 125 scale 69 Camaro SS396 and a visible V8 motor from Revel in 1/4 scale. So we have British Airways Boeing 747-136-236B. We have British Sherman tanks in North Africa. Lancia Stratos Turbo Italia. Giro d'Italia Group 577. So if that's for 125 scale vehicles, 124 scale vehicles. EA18G Rooks and Jackets. So this is for F-18, I'm assuming. EA18 Growler Electronic Warfare Platform. Blah blah blah. That's 148 scale, by the way. So Rooks and Yellow Jackets. So the Yellow Jackets are the Hornets. Somebody let me know if that's F-18s. The F-18 airframe. I can't really see. It just says EA18. So I'm assuming that's electronic something. Anyway, LaGuardia Guardia Nacional, 1925 to 1979. 135 scale. Latin American subjects or simply fancy something different. Star Decals has just the thing, including for a set of Nicaraguan military vehicles. This sheet offers a wealth of schemes for machines operated 1925 to the 1980s, with all subjects shown via colour profiles. So that's interesting. Special hobbies, goodies. What do we got here? We've got Czech firms CMK and Special Mask have a neat collection of newly crafted items, 3 different scales across aircraft and military genres. So we've got Mirage 3 masks for the cockpit and undernose glazing. Okay, right. Beaufighter Mark 1 and 6 main wheels. So those must be these. Wheel disc block tread pattern. We have some more masks for an Aero C3B bomber. Grasshopper engine Continental. So that must be this one. Special hobby, stunningly detailed 3D printed engine. B72106 SD KFZ 250 SD KFZ 10 tracks in 172 scale. So these, that must be these here. And then Panzer Faust 3 modern recoilless anti-tank weapon. Yeah, so that's got to be this one. Right. Other than that, we're looking at some, obviously, photo etch parts for various aircraft. We've got 135 scale resin printed, is it? Plus models has catered for a wide variety of 135 scale scenes, with this feast of food items forming an incredibly well-stocked picnic, complete with gingham cloth. The last of these items is represented by pre-printed paper, although a thoughtful inclusion that eases painting, whereas all the food stuff is beautifully classed resin. Yeah, resin. Farm horse-drawn wagon, 172 scale. ME 163B, 172 scale cockpit detail. So, pre-cut and pre-decorated photo etch instrument panel. Right, Royal Navy watertight doors, 1/350th scale. While many firms have produced photo etched metal versions of the Royal Navy standard World War II design for watertight cabin doors, Edwards' Space product appears to be the first 3D relief decal sheet to replicate them. There are 105 examples. Okay, so that's interesting. That's something, you know, I have never come across before. FA 18F ejection seats. So yeah, we've got N-Law anti-tank missile resin here. We've got FUG 202 antennas here. B25 Mitchell flaps. This is an F4F life raft, 148 scale. And I think this is the last of the advertising. So there you go. That is this month's Airfix Model World. Here's the display case. What have we got? It's a nice Hurricane Mark 1. Hawk Hurricane Mark 1. 124 scale. Nice. A nice chippy here. The Tamiya Yamaha R1 Street Fighter Custom Bike. Airfix Blackburn Buccaneer. And then over the page we have got, so this is an Edward MiG-21MF. Airfix Falklands Anniversary Flotilla, completed as part of an Aberdeen Modular Society group build, marking 40th anniversary of the Falklands conflict. Richard Butler produced this group of 1/600 ships using Airfix toolings. These comprised the SS Canberra at the top, with scratch-built helipads, so that was a slight conversion going on there. Containers and tenders. HMS Devonshire, converted to represent HMS Antrim, with XxXX launcher, which will be this bottom one, and an HMS Fearless in the middle. We've got an F4 Phantom here, and an F16 being serviced by the look of it. Right, so there you go. That's your lot. Hopefully join me in the next video, and I'll see you soon. All right, take care. Bye.